My name is Jonathan, and this is my company, Gremlin Engineering. Recently started my own engineering company to provide engineering services, design, 3D printing, prototyping, and such for individuals and small teams. An engineer for the little guy. These videos are to showcase projects for customers, both big and small, that I've completed, some that I'm currently working on, and general concepts and ideas that I would like to share with you. My hope is to not only showcase my skills and process, but also to use this as a way to share the knowledge I have learned and what I'm currently learning alongside you all, as I have learned so much from videos and companies sharing their knowledge in projects like this. My formal education is in aerospace engineering, and my career has mostly been in test engineering with electric vehicles, batteries, electric motors, turbines, and various electronics. But a lot of my skills that I hope to share and learn with you have been either from jobs or through extensive research and projects like this. So let's start with my first customer. He's a friend who wanted help designing a way to hold a switch he had for his driving lights. It was actually him who encouraged me to start this company. My friend lives here in Norway, and like most people who live this far north, they have an extra set of driving lights on their car. And for those who don't know, Norway gets very dark during the winter. So a lot of people have an extra set of driving lights. And depending on money spent, the specific car and system, how it was installed, the wiring is different for everyone, and this project doesn't really focus on the wiring too much. So what was the problem, or the requirements for this project? First, he already had his lights installed and wired up to a switch the way he wanted. But the switch was just hanging below the dash, and not the best place if you want to turn it on and off while driving at night. He wanted a pod or a panel to be designed and made to hold the switch, where it could be easily assessed and not look too obvious. Like it was part of the car, not some tacky add-on. But the biggest requirement was it needed to be removable if he decided to sell the car, that it didn't leave any gaping holes or the dash wasn't too damaged. After much discussion and back and forth, we decided on a small storage cubby in the center console right in front of the shifter, where we would drill a small hole in the very back that no one would find unless they tore apart the dash. I won't go into detail about how I CAD'd it unless you want me to in future videos, but here's the general gist. I measured everything up as much as I could with this car, taken some pictures. I counted up the general area and found a switch that was pretty close to it, and luckily someone had a CAD file, I believe I found it on GrabCAD, of a switch similar enough in dimensions and operation that I could use that as a placeholder to design the pod around. I also found and bought a similar switch from a local store to use to get some very fine details and dimensions that weren't in the CAD file I had found online. So I designed the first version, and this isn't it. I actually destroyed it to kind of test the filament strength and the how thick I made the walls to see how strong it was. And part of starting the company was actually purchasing my very first 3D printer to help with this. Eventually, once I finished, I delivered it. We did a quick wire up install with the switches to make sure it all worked. We decided to go with Velcro on two sides to actually put it in place and to hold it in place. And from what I hear, he's very happy with it. So now, what did I learn? First off, first customer, so there was a lot of extra conversation probably that didn't need to be there, but also he was a friend. He knew I was going through this process. He was encouraging me to actually start this company. Another thing I learned was the 3D printer. Now, I had used 3D printing before over several years at companies and in college, but for my own personal use, I wanted something that I didn't need to focus on, that wasn't a project in and of itself. One of the issues that you see here is bed adhesion, that as the ABS was printing, it was lifting off of the bed surface, which didn't really cause too many issues. The circles became a little bit oval. Thank you for watching. Now again, this was my very first project, my first video, so apologies for any bad editing or looking down at my notes or a lot of and ums that I hear already. And also, this project wasn't the most involved or technical project, so not so much that can be taught, but there's still a lot to learn with every project. That I learned quite a lot of starting the company, dealing with customer, and getting a 3D printer set up, learning a new software like Onshape. So there was still a lot to learn for me, and hopefully in future projects I can teach a little bit more of the more technical knowledge that I hope to share. Any feedback is appreciated, but again, be nice, and thank you very much.